Hello, everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for coming to tonight's town hall meeting. It means so much to me to see each and every one of you here. I know that this time of year, it's the holiday season. We're so busy. Everything's crowding up our calendars. So it means so much to me that you all took the time out of your schedule to come here and to, get conversations going and talk about one of the most important things in our lives, and that's our kids. As I saw all the cars coming in and, parking in the parking lot and everybody walking in, my heart was just so full to know that you care about our kids and that we want to come together and really make a difference. I want to thank the parents who came tonight. I want to thank all of the businesses that support our local schools. I want to thank our PTO volunteers that are here. I want to thank, I see several police officers in the crowd. I want to thank you. I see our crossing guard out there. I want to thank you as well. I also want to give a special thanks to the panelists that I've put together for tonight's meeting, and our newly elected mayor. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. So why are we having this meeting? When I sent out the flyers on Facebook and, put them out in the town and had the schools give them out, I know that you all probably read the title of, what we're going to talk about tonight, child abductions. And you're thinking, what is this? How could this happen in our town? But we're coming together because I have a serious concern and worry about Homewood City Schools' arrival and dismissal procedures. Like I said, my name is Madison Robinson. I am a second-year teacher at Edgewood Elementary School. I teach second grade, and I guess maybe I did not grow up in Homewood, so maybe, the perspective of an outsider coming in, I just see the way that we do our arrival and dismissal, and there's a lot of red flags that went off for me. 90% of our student population from all three elementary schools, our middle school and high school, are walkers, 90% of them. And we do not offer a busing system to get kids to school. They either walk or their parents bring them through carpool. And so my hope in tonight's meeting is to get the conversation started about ways to bring reform, ways to make safety more accessible to our kids. So like I said, we have put together a panel for tonight's meeting. I have 3 guests. My first one is Dr. Jade Rochelle. She is a parent to kids in our school system, as well as the chief medical officer for the city of Birmingham. And we are so honored to have her. The second panelist is Andrea Snyder. She is a parent as well in our school and has kids in our school system. But she also owns several small businesses in the heart of Homewood as well as downtown Birmingham. And then our third guest is Patrick McCluskey. He is our newly elected mayor, as well as a parent to kids in our school system. And I really felt like he could offer some great insight into this topic. So the way the night is going to go is each of our speakers on our panel group will talk for 7 to 10 minutes apiece. And at the end of our meeting, we will open it up to questions that anyone in the audience may have for all 3 of them. So to give you a little bit of background knowledge on our panelists, the first one I want to talk about is Dr. Jade Rochelle. She is an absolute powerhouse. I teach her son, William. She also has a 5th grader at Edgewood Elementary, which is, like I said, the school that I teach at. But not only that, she is, a chief medical officer in our town. She sees it all. When anything comes into the hospital, she's right on the scene. And I felt like she could give great insight into how many children that she sees in the hospital that have been abducted right here in our town that were fortunate enough to be rescued. And so she is the first speaker. Then I have Andrea Snyder. She has two daughters that are in the elementary school Shades Cahaba, which is, also in our city school district. She owns several businesses, but one of them, the restaurant Urban Cookhouse, and then Farm Bowl, they're back to back with each other. And it is right along the street where many of our kids pass by coming to and from school. And so I felt like she was a great one to have on this panel because she sees so much of what is going on the streets away from our school. And then our third speaker, who is also our special guest speaker, is Patrick McCleskey, our newly elected mayor. I know so many of you are just ready to hear his thoughts now that he's been in office for about a month and a half, and just see, what is his feelings on this. He has 3 children, one at the high school, one at the middle school, and then one at Hall Kent, which is our 3rd elementary school. And he has actually been a Homewood citizen his entire life. That kind of leads me into talking about why I chose him as our special guest speaker. I knew that so many of you voted him in office. You have confidence in him. So many of you have also watched him grow, and you've watched him be raised right here in our town. He graduated from Homewood High School. He went to school at UAB. You've watched him grow up. And now he has children across the board in all of our schools. And so I thought that he would be a great person to just talk on what he sees, how our town has changed from when he was in school to how it is now. And, things that he can do as mayor to bring reform to this topic. I'm not from Homewood, I'm from Mobile, Alabama, but in my short time living in Homewood, before Patrick ever became mayor, most of you know he served for 10 years on the city council. And so I got to see the behind the scenes of him working for his district, working for our town. And, I've never seen someone love Homewood so much. I mean, he believes in it. He puts his kids in our school system. His mother, she has now had to go into a nursing home facility. He chose one right here in Homewood. He doesn't just say he loves it. He lives what he preaches. He shops local. He supports everyone across the board. And I could not think of anyone who would love our kids and love this town more than him. And so, Patrick, I'm so honored to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming. I wanted to kind of give y'all what are my concerns. Why is this 2nd grade teacher hosting this town hall meeting? As I said before, 90% of our kids are walkers, which, when you're first hearing that, you're like, oh, it's great for the environment. The kids just walk to and from school. That's great exercise, being outside. But the problem is buses are not even offered as an option. School provided transportation. And so for so many parents, if they can't make the time to take their children to and from school because maybe they're caring for younger children, maybe they have a job they have to get to, maybe they're caring for a parent, they have no other option if they can't afford to pay someone else to do it than to let their children walk to school. And I truly don't believe that is extremely accessible for everyone. I read a study that was done that 71% of childhood abductions occur from Monday through Friday between the hours of 7 to 9 a.m. and 3 to 4 p.m. And guys, that's the hours of when our kids get to school and when they leave school. The percentage of childhood abductions goes from 71% to 29% on Saturday and Sunday. And I don't know about you, but what that tells me is that it's happening when they're going to school and when they're leaving school. And that it truly breaks my heart because school is their safe place. It's a place where they need to go and learn, and they don't need to fear when they're leaving the house if they're going to be able to come back or not. What are the things that Homewood does during our arrival and dismissal? Well, for starters, we have wonderful crossing guards at major intersections when they're coming in. And I'm so thankful for that. And thank you to each of you who are here that do that each day. Our staff also spreads out around all major exit doors. So when kids are leaving, you got either principals or teachers or paraprofessionals that are all watching them leave. But the thing is, there's only a few of us, and there's tons of them. And the thing is, our crossing guards can make sure that they reach safely across the street at that major intersections. And our principals can make sure that they didn't slip down the stairs coming out of the door. But then they leave. And then it's out of our hands. And so that is what gives me such concern. I know Andrea Snyder has told me personally, she's the one who owns the Urban Cookhouse, that when kids are coming to school and leaving school, she actually has one of her staff members stand outside of the business just to make sure that they're okay as they're walking to and from. And while I appreciate that so much, and I love that about Homewood, that as a community, we truly come together and we look out for each other. It's our responsibility. It's the school's responsibility because they're coming to us and they're leaving us, and we've got to do more. I have 5 questions that I personally have for the panel that I think it would benefit all of us if they would be able to answer. And the first question is, if police officers were to step in and start monitoring busy streets that kids walk home from, would that be something that the Homewood City School or the Homewood City police officers would do? Or would that fall into Jefferson County police officers? That's the first question I have. The second question would be, if Homewood City Schools does decide to offer bus transportation for the children of all of our schools, where would that funding come from? Would that be something that we would try to get provided by the state? Or would that be something that Homewood City Schools would provide? The third question is, what is the likelihood of Homewood getting buses? Do we think that that's something that's even in our grasp? Or do we think that it's so far gone, the idea, because we've never had them, that it's something that wouldn't even be able to be brought to the table? My fourth question is, would the parents that send kids in this school system be interested? And what type of numbers do you think would be interested in this? Do you think it would be something that would only appeal to a few people? Or as parents in the community, have you heard this topic be brought up again and again of why are our schools not offering this? And then my last question is, and Patrick, this is directed to you, do you have thoughts on this safety reform? I know that you are sending 3 kids through our school system. You've grown up here. You're on the city council. I know you probably hear a lot about this. Do you have any thoughts on this safety reform? Do you know what you could bring to the table with this? What is in your realm of possibilities in getting this started, getting these reforms put into place? Like I said, my name is Madison Robinson, and at the end of the day, kids are our top priority. Their safety is something that's just non-negotiable for me, and I know it is for you. And so I want to thank you so much for coming to this meeting. And I know that us together, starting these conversations, we can get the ball rolling to better things for our kids, because that is the most important goal. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.